The Breakdown.
Marcos, this week in the news, Hayley Williams joined Foo Fighters.
What?
On stage during their set at Bonnaroo to sing My Hero. Fun fact, Paramore actually covered that song on the Superman Returns 2006 soundtrack.
I don't know if you're fucking with me.
No, real facts right
They
now.
had a soundtrack for that?
Full circle ass moment. Which one was Superman Returns? That was like the mega flop one, right?
That was the one with Brandon Ruth?
That sounds so correct.
Brandon Roulette. And I remember someone shot him in the eye, and you saw the fucking bullet flatten
Right.
on like the iris.
Same
And
thing happened to a buddy of mine.
everyone was like, that's crazy. And then no one watched the movie.
Do you think Brandon Ruth got the call to be in the new Flash movie? You think he got the call?
He did reprise the role.
He did?
In the Flash TV show, I think.
Oh, shit. I actually knew that. I watched like 7 seasons of that TV show. Circling back, Marcos. Who wins here? Foo Fighters or Hayley Williams? Like, who was gifted the presence of being in whomsta's presence in this specific scenario?
Neither. We won.
We won.
The fans won.
We're the winners here.
And that's not a lose-lose for them, but we came out most victorious here.
This kind of shit should happen more often, to be honest. Like the fact that Metallica are on tour right now and they haven't had like Sam Carter or Spencer Sharness come up on stage and do like a track with them.
I'm going to be real with you. As far as like festival stuff goes, they should write...
Slipknot needs to invite MGK up to do a song or something.
They should write stuff like this into like the contract obligations to perform the festival. It's just like, oh yeah, no, yeah, you can perform on main stage, I guess, but you're gonna have to bring out blah 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 and blah blah blah, and they're gonna have to perform the song with you.
Right,
like
Mastodon. If you want to play this tour, you have to invite Ollie Sykes over
Sure.
here to sing the songs with you. Bro, gun to my head, name a Mastodon song. This is brutal right
God.
now. There was a track I remember liking back in the day, but it's been a minute.
Do they have long titles or short? Like
Somewhere in
one word
between.
or
I
like
call them like
15?
medium-sized titles. I did have one question that I wanted to bring up. If you could join any band on stage to sing a song, what would it be? And you can't say "My Hero" by Foo Fighters.
I was gonna say Haley really fucking stealing my
Thunder in this
Thunder, my
very specific
vibe here.
scenario. What about Escape the Fate? Would you join them on stage
Escape
to do a
the
song?
Fate, This War Is Ours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think you could nail that one?
I could nail a guillotine too on the spot.
I know exactly what I'm doing, and it's gonna go fucking crazy.
I
would
might
be
opt
like,
for the flood though.
excuse me, Pierce the Veil, but I'll be joining you for King for a day, but also I'll be singing both parts, so you just sit there and play your guitar, Vic Fuentes.
I like the idea of like a dejected Kellen Quinn on the sideline, just looking up like that should be me.
Right, I'm up there stealing his thunder. Lucky for Callum, my hair will never be as good as his.
Maybe get me on stage somehow, some way for like Enjoy Your Sleigh by Nice Nine Kills, maybe.
Love that energy. You know, as a fun band to join on stage would be Electric Callboy, who released their cover of Every Time We Touch, techno version. Which was originally performed by Cascada in 2006. And fun fact, the music video was filmed in Kassel Rothstein in Germany.
This is a
You're surprised this is a cover?
no.
You're surprised this is a cover?
No.
You never
What
heard
I'm
this song
telling
before in your
you-
life, huh?
This is like a fucking. What the fuck is his name, bro? This
Bro, I'm
is
gonna
the
need 2
Mandela
clues.
effect.
What do you mean the Mandela effect?
Bro, I thought
Barbara
fucking-
Streisand effect?
No, bro. Every Time We Touch hasn't been around since like 1976. That song's new.
No. Yeah, that's not even a 2-decade-old song at this point.
How?
I don't, bro. I'm
you
not like the
have to
fucking
know.
archaeologist
You're
of
the
club
guy.
jams, dog. Like the fuck if I know.
I'm surprised. I
The
thought
last
that
time I
song-
listened to this song was never, and then I heard it again today when Electric Callboy played it.
Like, you're telling me that song is almost 20 years old? I would believe you if you told me it was 40 years old.
To be fair, though,
It's a timeless song.
It needed to get freshened up a little bit, and I think Electric Callboy absolutely brought it here.
they made this song better.
Oh my God. There's a reaction video for this over up on our YouTube channel if the DMCA doesn't pull it down. And I don't know that I've been, this happens once a year, by the way, and it's always with Electric Callboy. I don't know if I've been happier listening to a song than I am in the moment where I'm hearing this Electric Callboy. So like there is just a pure joy that this band like summons from me.
Like I could be having the worst day imaginable. I see an Electric Callboy video pop up on like the YouTube recommended that I haven't watched before, and I already have like the grin forming on my face before I've even hit play.
Right, the depression leaving my body as Electric Callboy releases a new cover.
And then like, man, credit where credit is due. This band really knows
how to dress.
Sure, all that. They know how to dress. They know how to play their instruments. But like, they know themselves.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, no, this is the song Electric Callboy should be covering.
Right. Oh, that's precisely correct. Because like Electric Callboy came out and they covered like a Post Malone song, I would be like, this is a choice.
Right.
Right. And somehow they'd still nail it. But this was the actual right choice.
Yeah. They could have chosen any like hit single from the past 5 years, but we opt for this one, which matches this band's energy. And as a result, it's a perfect marriage, and it's one of the best covers that I've certainly heard this year, and probably in the past couple of years.
Man, I listened to this and I said, have I heard a cover as good as this in the last 6 years? And I think the answer is no.
Why? What an arbitrary. 6?
Yeah, 6.
17?
6 years ago, I think Our Last Night still had some juice in their covers.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah. Fame on Fire was like, they were doing like the hottest hip hop trending 100 songs, and they had a little juice in them.
A little juice.
But like, obviously the cover has become like, at this point, it's like an album staple. It's not even unique anymore. All right, you know what? Hey, you know what? To be fair, there was that Loveless cover, and then the other Loveless cover.
And honestly, real quick, let's give it up for German Castles.
Let's give it up for German Castles. Maybe some of the most beautiful castles I've ever seen in my whole fucking life.
Like, I didn't know Germany was packing like that when it came to castles.
Speaking of packing, The Word Alive announced their 7th studio album. Hard Reset comes out on August 25th through Thriller Records and will include singles New Reality, Nocturnal Future, and Slow Burn, which dropped any day with the announcement of the album. But what we really need to talk about is, alongside the track listing, we got the features that were going to be on this upcoming record, Marcus, which includes Bad Omens, Loveless, Normandy from First to Last, and rumor has it Craig Mabbitt of Escape the Fate.
What song?
Not sure yet because
okay. All right.
apparently it was like discussed in one of Telly's Twitch, but it wasn't officially in like the track listing, but officially in the track listing.
Bonus song, maybe.
These other artists, which are an absolutely incredible murderer's row of features to have.
Yeah, like, man, this is like, this is what you like. This, it feels like Telly came to us personally
and asked like who should feature on this album. Yeah.
Like, this is SOTS certified most badass feature list since This Wildlife.
Every time we said in the last like 3 years, this is one of the best songs we heard in my life, Telly made a little note in his notebook to be like, see if they were open for a feature, right? All right, so the Bad Omens one is like a given, right? The Loveless one is like a given. Normandy, what an incredible pull.
A bit out of left field, and like, yes, I
Absolutely,
need it, and
yes.
I need it yesterday.
But then obviously the standout here is from First to Last, which has been confirmed is going to be Matt Good, which I'm still pretty excited about, even though the whole universe sort of for a moment paused and went, Skrillex? No, not Skrillex, but still very cool.
I listen, and The Word Alive, credit to them, they're brainiacs, because every song we've heard off of this album, none of those singles have any of these features yet.
It's a fascinating choice, Marcus, because I don't think I would have been strong enough. I don't think I would have been strong. If I was sitting on a Bad Omens feature and a Loveless feature and a Normandy feature and a From First to Last feature and an Escape the Fate feature, I would have been like single.
You're not wrong.
No questions asked. So I think the roll up of this album is actually pretty cute, but maybe not the decisions I would have been making.
Man, what's funny about how stacked this feature list is, I can't tell you which one I want to hear most. But, like, if I had to say one outright, it's probably the one people might least expect.
You're saying Normandy?
From first to last.
No, from first to last, I think is the one that I also need to hear. I'm with you on that.
Well, no, I think, like, especially within our fan base, a lot of it's like, oh, well, yeah, they're going to want to hear the Loveless one and the Bad Omens one because they're big fans. Yeah, no shit. But, like, before there were those bands, there was Matt fucking Good.
What was the
from
last?
First to last.
The last time we heard from first to last were the Sonny Moore songs, right?
The Sonny Moore songs.
And then prior to that, it
the
was
Spencer album. Spencer Sotelo.
And then we have to go back another album before that until we get to the last time that we were hearing Matt Good singing on songs. And for those who are unfamiliar, Matt Good is now, he produces a lot of albums.
He produced this one. Or he helped like mix it or whatever.
He's produced, I think, some of the, I believe there are multiple producers on these. So, you know, it's not like Matt Good is like at any point like left the industry, but obviously like he's not been like a face like in front of the.
And he certainly hasn't been like
voice.
A voice, right?
Yeah.
And man, that from first to last album that we left off with from this singer Matt Good
was incredible.
Throne of the Wolves.
One of
my
the Wolves.
favorite records
One of the
ever.
most underrated albums to ever come out of this scene, Marcos. Speaking about underrated, Fall Out Boy dropped their summer tour set list by playing it during the first date of the So Much for Stardust tour at Wrigley Field in Chicago. 26 songs. 26 fucking songs, Marcos. I got the set list. Yeah.
We started this tour in Chicago?
Started the tour in Chicago.
Nah, what are we doing?
What do you mean, what are we doing?
We end in Chicago. You always end in your hometown, I thought.
That's actually a good point. I thought that was like what you were supposed to, right? Because then you don't have to. But maybe
granted, they might. This is fucking Fall Out Boy. They can technically do whatever they want.
Fall Out Boy probably lives all across the globe at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like Pete Wentz lives in a castle in Germany, and like you know, Patrick Stubbs the other one who still lives in Chicago, right? So maybe it doesn't fucking matter, but I understand the sentiment. What I really actually like to discuss here, though, is this set list, Marks. What jumps out to you from here?
What don't, Sam?
Yeah.
What don't jump out at me?
Okay, that's an interesting approach. All right, so here's what it is for me. I love that they opened with Love from the Other Side, right? Brand new single. We're just going to kick things off with that song. Love when bands do that. I love when bands are like, this is that new heat. Right? We're not even going to fucking beat around the bush with it. But then I also like that immediately after that is the Phoenix, which is like the actual opening song from a Fall Out Boy set. Like it would be the expected, anticipated hype song to really get things going.
I'm a little surprised by how much of like the outright super popular shit of theirs did like this
did or didn't make it.
Did make it.
Yeah.
As far as like, man, Uma Thurman is. I guess it's not surprising, but at the same time, like, part of me thought that, especially with this tour, this band was going to try to shed some of that identity as far as being like.
I think this band is probably still running the Spotify numbers, and that's why Uma Thurman is on here, and even more disappointedly, Centuries.
So I saw that one too, and it's, you know, a little towards the back end of this. I do see some weird ones as far as like
Baby Annihilation making the set list is so fucking crazy.
Don't Stop Believin' piano mashup is insane.
That's a choice. Yeah. That's certainly a choice.
The Crazy Train is a cover, obviously.
Yeah.
What's funny is that comes after Baby Annihilation.
Insane that you put a cover in this set because it's like, why? You have 14 albums to choose from. Play any of those songs, I would prefer it to a cover. Like, I didn't come to see Fall Out Boy so I could hear a cover of Crazy Train. Like, for the love of God, play one of the other songs that, like, I'm never going to get another chance to hear live.
Also, you're fucking Fall Out Boy. Don't play a fucking Ozzy Osbourne cover. Give me some Panic at the Disco. They're dead. Like, let's just fucking, like, give me some Kamisato, you know?
You know, I think Panic at the Disco would still be around if they were invited to be on this tour, but apparently they weren't. This is pretty crazy. 26 songs, very exciting. I think this is a strong set list overall.
I'd be happy with it.
Marcus, Crystal Lake are back. with 2 new singles, Denial and Rebirth. And they feature the new frontman, John Santorino, formerly of The Last 10 Seconds of Life. Who replaces Ryo Kinoshita, who left the band back in September of 2022 to focus on his health and generally step away from tour life. Ryo has returned back in front of the microphone and released new music under the band Kenosis since. A lot going on there, a lot to take in. But let's circle back to the beginning here, Marcos. How do you feel about these brand new Crystal Lake songs with their new vocalist?
Yeah, so Crystal Lake finally got their guy. I know that it was narrowed down to
they did like a whole like send me
while.
your demo and like we'll figure out who we like best and like pit them against each other in a fight to the death.
Hadn't seen one of those in a while. I'm trying to remember. There was the Sumerian one that never happened.
The Sumerian one was absolutely fucking insane because I feel like it did become in motive, which later just ended up being fronted by the former member of Crown the Empire. Why can't I remember his name? Dave Escamilla. Yeah. Which ended up sort of petering out anyways. But that being said, so I remember I never really connected with The Last 10 Seconds of Life. So when they officially made this announcement, I kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah, in a way that like it really took the wind out of my sails. I actually didn't really have much of a desire to go and listen to this, and I'm not sure when I would have checked it out if not for this show.
Fascinating. So funny enough, I've turned around significantly, and that I'm much more hyped on this band in general now that I've heard these 2 songs, and I'm pretty satisfied with the vocal performance from John.
So
I think
I'm right
it's
there with
strong.
You. I'm right there with you. But I did have a lot of anxiety.
Right, so you're like, on
it.
paper, you weren't rushing to hear this, but now that you've heard it.
Yeah, especially because, like, I don't know. It was one of those things where...
Tough to separate the face from that band. Tough.
Extremely tough.
Ryo was such an absolute fucking special, unique individual within this scene, so...
But with that said, this band did an excellent job of assuring their fan base that despite the face of Crystal Lake being gone, a lot of the creative, like the creativity that's still there for Crystal Lake, like the creative force of this band is still very alive and very well.
These 2 videos are absolutely like gorgeous. Like they're just so many bright lights and flashing colors.
A lot of incredible editing.
Right, strong camera work. Just really make the songs even punchier than they already are. And then there is
this big money shot of this fucking ethereal creature at the end of the second video.
Right, just a whole ass Elden Ring boss that shows up out of nowhere, and then the band is like saluting it with like symbol that like this band is like rebuilding lore all at once.
Yeah.
I just love the amount of depth they put into this, like the like depth of thought.
But like heading into this, I don't know, part of me just didn't want to finally acknowledge that like Ryo did indeed leave the band and Crystal Lake was left to pick up the pieces or whatever, and it's like I was worried, and this is actually it's squashed pretty much any concern I had about this band moving forward. I'm really confident in them now and like what there is to expect next. Like I'm feeling really good suddenly about Crystal Lake again.
Marcus, but Crystal Lake aren't the only band that returned this week. Also, Jamie's Elsewhere, who signed to Sharptone Records and released a brand new track, Escapist, off their upcoming EP, Paradise. If I could, I'd run right through that open door inside my head. To that place where I see me, sun and sky, and lay there for a while. The band had actually self-released another song back in like 2020. But I feel like this is the true coming out party of their return. For those who don't know, the project is fronted by Aaron Pauley, was always fronted by Aaron Pauley, but you would be much more familiar with Aaron now as the frontman of Mice and Men.
Yeah, so this is how a lot of us came to be familiar with Aaron before of Mice and Men. how are we feeling right now?
Strong. I just think in general that being able to hear Aaron Paul's voice again has just sort of like really made me sort of it's just been a sense of like positivity. Like I've just been really excited to hear him sing again. It feels like it's been such a long time, even though it's only been like a couple years. It just feels like the longest amount of time we've gone since like New of Mice and Men material. So even if that was what I would most have desired, I'm pretty happy with getting this new Jamie's Elsewhere song, because in reality, it's still being a project fronted by Aaron Pauley. It shares a very obvious similarity to their material.
Yeah. Like it's funny though that you mentioned like technically not the coming out single from like this band as far as like returning goes, but for me now this absolutely is. I think the song's a lot more what I was looking for from a Jamie's Elsewhere return.
Yeah, this feels like this is
more.
the exciting sort of like return and announcement that I was expecting. And part of the thing here too, I think, is the signing to Sharp Tone Records, which I think cements a little bit more legitimacy under like the return aspect of this. And then getting an announcement that we're getting an EP as well. And little insider trading information here is I was speaking to Aaron a little bit about the release of this song, and he was telling me that this single in particular was one of the more straightforward songs on the entirety of the EP, and that the rest of it might be a bit more of experimental or a surprise or unexpected than what we would think of.
Which, I mean, like that was sort of like Jamie's Elsewhere back in the day, right? Like a little bit more on the experimental side.
Yeah, they were less of one like they weren't one of the most straightforward of like the Rise Core bands.
Right. At the time, you know, maybe it's less so now looking back on it, but definitely a little different back in the day.
I also appreciate this thing that happens where like if a label signs your band, they also like adopt the other bands you have. Like they also like take them under your wing, Marcus. But Jamie's Elsewhere and Crystal Lake weren't the only projects to return this week. Texas and July are also back with new single False Divinity. Out now through Equal Vision Records. This is the first new song since the band broke up back in 2015. That would be 8 fucking years ago. The band is fronted by JT Cavey of Era. And the press release states, brace yourself. I thought this was pretty fucking funny. What's next for the band is a bit of a mystery. Maybe some shows, maybe more new music. It is, however, clear that Texas and July have found a sense of renewal and are primed to keep going. One of the most nebulous press releases I've ever read in my whole life. They could play shows. They could put out more songs.
Oh my God.
Who fucking knows? Hang around and find out.
What just making such a scene only to be like, just kidding.
It did really feel like it took like the wind out of their sails on the end of it. It was like I was reading the whole thing. It was like Texas in July. They were them boys back in like 2012. And this is fucking bad. Like JT Cavey, he been doing things with Era, and it's like fucking crazy. And False Divinity, brand new song out on Equal Vision Records. Let's fucking go. What happens next? Who fucking knows? I don't know. Maybe they'll quit again. They could break up. Can't say for sure. I can't tell the future. I'm just a fucking publicist.
I'm a little bothered here.
You're bothered? I know.
I get that people have beat this horse to death.
I know.
But
beat it off a little more.
One last fucking stroke, Sam.
Yeah.
Really? Couldn't have just came back July 1st like every other fucking band would have. You had to go out and act special. Like July's not in your fucking name. It's just hurtful. It's inconsiderate.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like if
baffling.
Hey Monday came back on a Tuesday, it'd be like fucking break up again.
It's baffling.
Go away.
I'm frustrated. I don't know. But this song,
what a choice.
This song did it soothed me a little bit.
I'm gonna be real with you. I never once in my fucking life listened to Texas in July, and I checked this song out because I'm a fan of Era, and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Is it the Era effect though?
What do you mean?
Like now you like JT. So you go.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's
like,
possible. Sure, yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's a reasonable assumption, I suppose. It's a cool
This,
music video too. Just a strong like band fucking banging it out.
Yeah, they had a cool shot here. I've liked it in all the other instances I've seen vocalists do it, but it feels like something we don't get it often, where they'll like drop the mic and then go grab the actual camera lens and scream into it.
I love it.
And hits 10 times out of 10 every time it happens.
10 times out of 10, Marcus.
10 out of 10.
Bearings announced their new album, The Best Part About Being Human, which comes out August 18th through Pure Noise Records. The album will feature singles Scenery and Gone So Gone.
Well, I know you really want to. Yeah, I know you really want to. Tell me how I fuck up every time. Tell me how every single thing I say's a lie. Now I never really know what I feel inside.
And this quote from the band on the album, the best part about being human is being alive, and the second best part is writing an upbeat and exciting record with your brothers in a small town in North Hollywood. Now that is how you write a press
What a
release.
fucking sell.
That is how you write a press
What a
release.
sell. It wrote itself.
Marcus, Bearings have quietly always been one of the strongest bands in pop punk, and I feel like right now, currently, this album is holding up the entirety of the second half of this year when it comes to pop punk bands.
Are they
Who the
performance?
fuck else is even on the calendar right now? Bearings just said it's us and only us.
It's us and only us for now, but Neck Deep are out there.
Neck Deep are up there
Waiting
somewhere,
in the
so I've heard.
shadows.
The story so far exists. Yeah, it's been said.
Anyone counting on a Story So Far album this year is kidding themselves.
They're touring with Blink-182. They got to play
They're
some new
doing
shit.
it right now, and they're not playing new shit.
God damn it.
They're literally right now touring with that band.
We could get a little Huddy album this year.
Yeah.
Don't rule it out. There's some shit out. You're right.
Yeah, Bearings are sick. Do you think they're... Is this like... You talk about Wide Open, the runway, right?
Yeah.
For pop punk for the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Is this their opportunity to really come and make like a real big impact on
Yeah, that's
that
exactly what I'm
specific
saying.
scene?
Is that like the calendar's wide open right now, and we're gonna need our pop punk fix a little later in this year. And Bearing said, "We got you, and we got you fucking good." I don't
And
know.
you're saying no one else does. So by virtue of the fact, everyone, going back to the watering well,
Yeah,
they're gonna have to.
this is like a graphic novel.
Consume
It's like the
this.
last pop punk band. You know what I mean? It's like a desolate wasteland, and literally just Bearings all by themselves, still playing,
I
still
like
keeping
it.
the torch.
I like our
lit.
odds. I'm excited about this album, even though it has such a Pup the band ass name to it.
It does a little bit. It has really gorgeous artwork though, where it's like a diner all like lit in neon, and then like some palm trees behind it, seemingly from North Hollywood. So I wonder if it's like an on location type inspirational beat. But I feel like Bearings is one of these bands who's always been incredibly unsung in this scene, so I'm very excited for this. Marks, just a couple more news stories. Imminence dropped 2 new singles, Come Hell or High Water and Desolation. Which were within 1 week of one another. And both music videos are intertwined in a sense that Come Hell or High Water, once it ends, it picks up exactly where it left off in Desolation.
You know what did come?
Oh, God.
Hell.
Yeah.
Because this band's on fucking fire right
Yeah,
now.
yep.
Are you kidding me? This band is almost
You know what
never
else
sounded
came?
better. Water?
Water. Because this song got me soaking wet, bro.
Tripping.
This shit is so good. This is that real heat. Imminent said, fuck your sleep tokens. Fuck your event animates. We're about to build up to an actual album of the year contender, and everybody else can go back to fucking around in the schoolyard again with a real voice play.
Yeah, this is a real, this is Imminence reasserting themselves as the best band in this scene by a mile.
Like, honest to God, it's like I heard these songs and I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, bands are not just gonna fucking bend over and let other bands take the fucking,
bro.
the wins this year. Like, Imminence said no. We are literally one of the best bands in the fucking scene, period.
Yup.
And we're gonna show it. Come Hell or High Water is absolutely fucking spectacular. The chorus is brilliant. This band continues to do things with violins that have never been done before. They continue to do things with suspenders that have never been fucking done before. They absolutely fucking nail visual elements, and somehow they manage to bring in like these insane like metalcore drops like in the back half of a song that has no fucking right being
business.
This fucking heavy out of nowhere, and just like such a fucking audible and visual treat from start to finish. Imminence are like that next fucking future wave shit that's like they're going to be selling out Wembley Arena in 45 seconds if we just fucking finally start paying attention.
Awesome thing about this song too,
Yeah.
these songs, is that like it's a continuation from one to the next. So this isn't your standard band's brand new 2 singles. This is a band saying, hey, here's a full ass like story. Go
Right. To be
consume
fair,
it.
Crystal Lake did the same thing. So I wonder if we're seeing the next wave of what single drops are going to
do
be,
this to me.
where it's like single 1, single 2, and they're both like sort of interconnected. And we filmed the music video that same day for both of them, and it feels like a continuous sort of like conceptual nature. It's actually an idea that I really like. Where if
Smart.
you're just going to drop 2 songs, at least them have some sort of like tie between them,
Listen,
even if it's
we
just
watched
as simple
Memphis
as like an
Mayfire do it 9
aesthetic.
times in a row.
Wait, that's a good fact. They released a music video this week as well. Go check that out. And
For-
final news
For a song called Misery, which is so funny to me.
off of an album called Remade in Misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final news story this week, Marcos. Dark Divine are bringing back horrorcore. They dropped their brand new single, Paper Crown, featuring Brian Kuznets of Fame on Fire.
You know your paper crown is torn apart because we're breaking down. We're not invincible, you're not untouchable. Perfectly capable of starting the fire. So burn it down.
And announced their new album, Deadly Fun, which comes out September 8th on Thriller Records. Marcos, this is their follow-up to 2022's Halloween Town, which was akin to like a debut EP. It's about 7 tracks.
It fucking rocked. It was a badass EP. And we're picking up right where we left off. I think that this new single, Paper Crown, is fucking sick. I like I just like the feature choice on here. Like, just having Fame on Fire is smart.
Yeah, like I saw that name, like I read that name and like my ears perked up. You know, I was like, oh yeah, actually, I would like to hear Brian on like a feature. Like that isn't. I feel like people have not been using like this fucking talent enough.
Fame on Fire has been using a lot of guest features, but it feels
Fame
like
on
people
Fire has
don't
been using a lot of
go
guest
to
features.
Fame on Fire for many features. So I like this pairing. I think that Dark Divine are still doing something really cool as far as
Obvious aspect of this band that stands out the most is that they're from the same fucking like school of metalcore as Motionless in White and Ice Nine Kills.
School of Theater,
School of Theater. Yes, that's absolutely correct.
musical theater.
Precisely. I'm pretty excited for this record, Marcos. I think that when we get bands that do something well, they should inspire a lot more bands just like them. And it's cool to see a band like Dark Divine, which feels so heavily inspired by 2 bands who I feel like have been such an incredibly formidable force over the course of this scene. And it's crazy to me that it took us this long to get another band who was like, oh yeah, I also like spooky things and heavy breakdowns.
And I appreciate the self-awareness here too, like the title of this album, Deadly Fun.
It's everything about it is so on the nose.
very
Like go
on the
watch like the
nose,
music
yeah.
video as well. Like everything is so on the nose. But it's like so on the nose in a way that I can personally really appreciate when it speaks directly to my sensibilities.
Yes.